Welcome to the course on Indian polity. Okay. So for this course, we will follow Lakshmikant, Indian polity by Lakshmikant, 6th edition. Okay. So we shall discuss historical aspects. Okay. Not too much into it, just a little bit background. Okay. Historical background. So in 1498, okay, 1498, Vasco da Gama, okay, came from Europe to found a route, okay, Calicut in India. Okay, he found the route between Europe and India. So after his arrival, many Europeans came. Dutch, Portuguese came. Okay. French people came. And then Britishers came. Okay. Now we shall discuss about these Britishers. Okay. Because we are discussing about constitution. Okay. So background of constitution. So we got the constitution from Britishers. That is why we are focusing on Britishers. So Britishers were traders initially. Okay. So they usually do trade of spices. Okay. Why only spices? Because spices are used in preserving meat. Okay, that is why they usually trade spices. And then after this continued for many years, like 5 to 10 years. And then these people got a royal order from British government. Okay, royal order or a charter. Charter is nothing but a permission from the authority. Royal order is also same. So they got the permission, the order to start a company, because these people are getting more and more profits here. That is why British government sent a order to start a company, and that company is East India Company. Okay. So these people with that order, they went to the local rulers. Okay. So they took permission from the local king and they set up a company at Surat. Okay. So here is the question: who gave permission to the Britishers? This is your question. Okay, Google it, you will find it. Okay, and then comment your answer in the comment section. To start their company, to start their first company. Okay, this was the person who gave permission to start their first company. Okay, I want the king's name. Okay, so their first company was set up at Surat, and similarly they got permission from Vijayanagara Empire. Okay, so they started their company, second company, in Madras. Okay, so second company in Madras. In those times, Madras was in Vijayanagara Empire. That is why their second company was in Madras. Okay. Later on, their branches were increased, number of branches increased, and they set up one more branch at Kolkata. Okay. See, having these many branches, company is found to have huge profits. Okay, they got more and more money. So now they wanted to take control over India. So what they did is they started involving in internal matters of India. Okay, how they involved is, so when two individual kingdoms are fighting each other, okay, in a battle, these Britishers will go and help one of them to defeat the other. Okay, after winning battle, uh, this king will provide something, some offer to the Britishers because they help him in the battle. So Britishers are offered with land, okay, or tax benefits likewise. Okay, these benefits they got from the king. Okay, so later they got Diwani rights. Diwani rights. Okay, from a king called Shah Alam. Okay, so what are Diwani rights? Diwani rights are revenue rights and civil rights. Okay, revenue rights is like tax collection rights. They will collect tax from the local people. Okay, so why did Shah Alam gave Diwani rights to East India Company? Who is Shah Alam? He is a Nawab of, King of Bengal. Okay, so there was a battle called Battle of Buxar. Okay, in this battle, East India Company and Shah Alam with his friends fought together. Okay, in this battle, East India defeats the Shah Alam and group because East India has got guns and cannons, everything, but the Indian rulers have only arrows, okay, elephants, bows, horses. Okay, so EIC easily defeated Shah Alam. So they will, before battle, they will sign a treaty. Okay, according to this treaty, Shah Alam gave Diwani rights to East India Company. Diwani rights over Bengal. They can collect revenues, tax from Bengal, Orissa. In those times it was called Odisha, and Bengal, Bihar. Yes. Okay. In these three areas, they got the rights to collect revenues. Okay. So we know that the company is already very rich with huge profits, right? Okay, and initially they were trading spices, later they started trading silk, cotton, tea, opium, likewise many items they exported. Okay, they will buy for low prices in India and they sell for huge profits in other countries. Okay, so after this happened, the company is expected to have more profits, okay, than before, but it is found to be in debts or losses. Why? Because the members in the company are mismanaging the funds. Okay, so that means a lot of corruption going on. Okay, so when the British government know about these things, about the corruption going on here, so it started controlling East India Company directly. How can a government control a company directly? Is by passing laws, okay, rules, acts. Acts were passed to control or regulate, okay, regulate East India Company. Those acts or rules are called regulating acts or charter acts. Okay, charter acts. Anything is fine. Regulating acts is to control the East India Company. Charter is nothing but a order from the authority. So anyway, both are same. So first regulating act was formed on 1773, later 1793. So for every 20 years, okay, the rules are changed according to the time and new regulating act was formed. So after that 1813, that means after 20 years, after 1833, 20 years, and next rule will be on, next act will be on after 20 years, that will be 1853. So 1853 is the last regulating act, okay, or last charter act. Okay, so in the next video we'll be discussing each and every regulating act. Let's see the recap of the entire video. Okay, so first Vasco da Gama came, and then Europeans also came for trade, and then Britishers came for trade. Britishers traded spices initially, later they traded silk, opium, dye, etc. Okay, and the trade continued for many years, and the British government sent an order, royal order, to start a company in India. Okay, with that permission, they went to the local leader, and they got the permission from local leader also. Okay, so they started their first company in Surat, and their second company in Madras, and then third company in Kolkata. Likewise, the number of branches got increased. Okay, after getting huge money from all the branches, they wanted to they wanted to take control over the Indian lands. So later on, they got Diwani rights from Shah Alam. Okay, Shah Alam is the Nawab of Bengal. So what are Diwani rights? Diwani rights are tax collection rights and revenue rights. So Diwani rights over these three areas: Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha. Okay, so after that, with tax collection rights, the company is expected to have more money, but the company is found to be in losses. Okay, so why the company is in losses is the members are mismanaging the funds, so corruption is going on. So British government, after knowing all this, British government started taking control over East India Company by passing acts, rules. Those acts are called regulating acts or charter acts. Okay, first regulating act or charter act was made on 1773, and then 1793, and then 1813, and then 1833, and then 1853. So the gap is 20 years. For every 20 years, they are revisiting the terms and conditions of the rules, acts. Okay. If you see here, the company is making the laws to control East India Company, but there are some Indian lands under the control of East India Company. So these laws are applicable to those lands also. So this is how they started ruling India. Okay. So in the next video, we will be dealing with each and every regulating act.